This is another session of our weekly interviews from the Konrad-Adenauer Foundation, and I warmly welcome today Dr. Wui-Chang Lee. I would like to start asking you, how is the current situation in Taiwan?
There were 428 infected cases in Taiwan totally today, and I think 428. I think this number, we're trying to keep this number as low as possible. And actually, there are also 6 deaths since the first case reported on January 21st in Taiwan.
What do you think other countries could learn from Taiwan's COVID response, which earned you such a low infection rate?
Taiwan was excluded by the United Nations since 1971, 50 years. So over the past 50 years, we realize the fact once we are facing any crisis, including natural crisis or the infection pandemic, we need to rely on ourselves. So after the outbreak of SARS in 2003, the government did a radical reform for our prepared system for the infection, especially for the large-scale pandemic like SARS. I would like to mention the government level reform first. First one, we have a new CDC, the Taiwan Center for Disease Control. Maybe let me call it a new CDC. We had CDC for years, but after SARS, we have a new CDC because we find during the SARS outbreak, the CDC cannot respond the crisis well. Why? Because we need to enhance our infrastructure, and particularly important is the information system. So we set up a well-organized information system and link to our national health insurance. As you know, Taiwan has very strong universal health coverage since 1995, about 25 years ago. And every people hold a insurance card. So every time when the patient see a doctor, the diagnosis by the ICD-9 or ICD-10 will be recorded and uploaded to the CDC, the system. So we can monitor the situation on a daily routine. For example, and we will collect the ICD-9 diagnosis for the flu, for common cold, And for example, every day there are about 10,000 Taiwanese have the flu. But once with the number upsurge to 2,000 or to more, and the CDC will set up an investigation why there is a local endemic in a certain city. So it will investigate what happened. So that's a very important mechanism after SARS outbreak. That's the first. Second, we also set up a task force composed by 30, we call the doctors of infections. So these doctors have the capability to operate the information system, to monitor and to investigate what happened locally or nationally. The third is the more important, and also actually it operates well this time, is the CDC set up a Central Epidemic Command Center. We call the CECC. Actually, this is a operation command center. Every time when the big event happens, like the COVID, the CECC will initiated by the Minister of the Health, and he will take care of the responsibility to handle the pandemic like this COVID outbreak. So we have very quick response from the infrastructure, from the information system. The information system will monitor all the international situation, and because we cannot get any report from WHO, so we need to monitor that by ourselves. So our CDC can monitor that, and also we will warn, give a specific warning to the government, and if necessary, the CECC will initiate it to handle the specific situation like this time. There are also some other reform for the government, the CDC, including we have the rapid response system, and we can mobilize the resource like the hospital resource and the other resource whenever the epidemic happened. I will address one thing more. It's about the we amend the law. There is a Communicable Disease Control Act, and so after SARS outbreak, we enhanced the government responsibility and the capability to face the infection control. Second, I would like to say we have also a very important hospital level reform, because hospital is the most important, the tool and asset during the pandemic. We did an annual infection control rehearsal for all the hospitals. And also for hospital, we need to be asked to prepare enough we call the equipment and the inventory management for the medical supply. For example, the medical mask, we need to reserve at least 2 weeks for hospital. And during this outbreak, we elevate the threshold, the inventory to 30 days. And not only the hospital, citizens, they play a very important role. During the first few days, and when we heard there are some new infectious case in China, many people, they just wear the mask automatically. And the most important is that we call the sense of the vigilance and the citizen responsibility. Everyone need to take your responsibility as a citizen. You need to protect yourself first, protect your family, and then protect the others.
Taiwan never went into a complete lockdown, and it didn't have to, right?
Half of the cities in the world are locking down now, but Taiwan, no. Actually, we live relatively, I call it semi-normal life.
So Taiwan also never ran out of masks.
First, we have a ban to export of our mask to the other country, and so the second, we form we call the national team or Taiwan team, and we did the mass production of our mask to supply the domestic need, and it was well. So we can also help the other countries who need the mask. And next week we can buy the mask on the kiosk, the vending machine, and we can order online and to get that on the 7-Eleven convenience store.
Do you fear a second wave?
Yeah, actually we are watching the second wave, and when we are preparing for the second wave, no matter it will come here or not. I think the COVID just like a tsunami, wave by wave. But we hope the wave is the later wave will be softer than the first wave, because we are prepared. The second wave may be from two sides. One is from our local side. There are some community infection, like Singapore. Singapore is the best example for the infection containment over the past 3 months in the world. But now we note that there's a growing curve in Singapore because of the foreign workers. So it just reminds us Taiwan also there are also many foreign workers in Taiwan. So we also need to be very careful. So we also learn from Korea. Korea is a very good example for Taiwan. Korea did a very wide screening and fast testing for a specific area. So they can identify any potential patient, but without any discomfort. So we need to identify the potential infected case without any symptoms. We are still not lift the bar for our border control, or for our wearing mask, or for the temperature monitoring. No, we are continuing to do that, but we are preparing for the wave from our local community. The second wave maybe also from the other country. The wave will move back to Asian countries and from across the Pacific Ocean. That's possible. Why? Because there are a lot of communication across the Pacific Ocean. Many people, especially from Taiwan, they study, they live, they travel to United States, to European countries. So they will come back. Actually, for the past 1 month, almost all the new cases are from the other country, especially from United States and the European countries. And we need to do the more strict the border control, and we need to do the quarantine, testing, screening, and the mitigation treatment for these people from the other country. And we are prepared for that. We are trying to build more the isolation room for the large amount of the high volume the quarantine purpose. So we are doing that. And so we are developing the the vaccine, developing the quick testing capability to identify the potential infected case to control the local outbreak. We also do a strict border control.
So, despite Taiwan's effectiveness, it has been consistently sidelined in the WHO because of its complicated relationship with China. So, can you explain why exclusion in the WHO is a problem?
Over the world, there are 23 million people in Taiwan were ignored by WHO. But I think it's not fair for us, because actually it is a problem for not only for Taiwan, but also for the other country. First of all, Taiwan lost the opportunity to attend many international, especially WHO-affiliated international organizations. So we lost the opportunity to learn the most advanced technology and for infection control, for universal coverage, and for many other things. And the second, that we also lost the first-hand information from WHO. Sometimes we need to get information from the other country or the other organizations, but not the first-hand information. First-hand information is very important because the sooner of the critical message, we can save more people, just like the infection pandemic information. In the early stage of the COVID outbreak, we sent a message to WHO, but actually I think the information was ignored. Many member countries of WHO, they also cannot share our experience. I think that's the problem for the other member countries. There are more than 190 member countries. My experience told me, not many countries, they are the low and the middle income countries of the WHO member state. And they are the main target for the WHO. You know, for Japan, for Germany, or United States, they are rich countries. They are very developed countries. This country can take care of themselves, everything. But there are many low and the middle income countries, they rely on WHO. And Taiwan, we can share our experience for the low and the middle income country, but we are absent for many years. So the other country also lost their opportunity to learn, such as universal health coverage or infection control. Taiwan is in the hot spot, actually the center of the storm, because all these big pandemic were originated in Asia. So our information will be very important to the member country of WHO. However, our information will not be paid attention. So that's the loss of the member countries.
So thank you, Dr. Lee, for sharing.
Thank you very much for your deep insights. It was very interesting for us to listen to you, and I'm sure our audience on our social media channels will like it just as well. So once again, thanks for your time, and please stay well and healthy. Best wishes to you and your family, Dr. Lee.